Hi, you're watching Rose Squad Reviews, and I'm Melanie, and I've been trying to think of like an intro phrase to like introduce the start of the videos, and then maybe find like exit phrase to kind of like, put it back in, just hopefully that might help things. And I've come up with a couple of them, but I'm not entirely happy with any of them, so if you guys had any ideas, I'd appreciate that, because I don't know what I'm doing, let's be honest. But today I'm going to be doing a book review. And that is over this book, Dead Men Don't Crochet by Betty Hetchman. And the fun story about this book is I was in a bookstore and I saw it and I was like, oh, it's a mystery with crochet references. And what caught me, it says, delicious recipe and crochet pattern included. And I'm like, any book that has a recipe and a crochet pattern, like, I need to check this out. And it was like $3, so I bought it on kind of a impulse buy, but And just to give you a little bit of background about this book, it's around 300 pages or so, and it's the second in a series of mysteries with your main character, Molly Pink. And so this is the second book. I did not read the first book, didn't even know this book existed till I saw it in the bookshop. So interestingly enough, Molly Pink actually works at a bookstore as kind of like the event curator, sponsor, sort of organizer person, and then she's also active in her local crochet guild where they like to do crochet projects for charities. And Molly is kind of like your average Joe, but she likes to solve mysteries. She likes to be in on the know. And when one of the guild members becomes a main suspect for the murder of a local business owner, Molly kind of jumps in to see what's going on and clear her name and find out who really did it. This book has a large cast of characters, too large if I may insert my opinion here, and this is a review, so I shall. And as I was reading through, I kind of had trouble keeping straight all the characters. Like, obviously you have Molly, and she's pretty easy to remember. But pretty much like every other person, I was like, wait, who are they again? What's going on? And some of them seem to be like holdovers from the previous book, so like if I had actually read the previous book, then I might not be having as many troubles. But it's just kind of confusing, and I don't know, they're like, I feel like some of them could just be like squashed into like one entity. I did enjoy Molly as a character overall. She's unique, if not particularly memorable. She seems to be a middle-aged housewife with really good cooking skills, and just really no fear of like walking up to people and asking them, oh, so like where were you on the night of this date and stuff. Or following them home from the movies. Like, social constructs don't seem to apply to her in a lot of areas. Like, she's like, oh sure, I'll just go over and like sneak through this person's office. I'm not nervous, no. What is this? I did enjoy how the author made her very down-to-earth in her sneaking tactics. It's not like she's James Bond or anything. She doesn't really have the physical capabilities to like jump over fences and like run through streets. And so kind of she does things at her own speed. And there are a couple times when she like tries to do things and then it doesn't work out, so that was funny. I enjoyed that. For this being a mystery novel, I was kind of surprised at like how slow the pace was. Part of this might be to the fact that it's kind of hard to determine like when days end. Like Molly might go up and do something, you'd be like, okay, it's morning, and then, time passes and stuff's happening, and you're like, is this like a different day? Is it the same day? Like, she goes home, she goes back to work. What day is this? So there's like a little bit of confusion there. On the upside, all the little plot points did come together in the end, kind of be like, it's the conclusion, we now know the culprit. Despite all that, what kept me reading were the crochet references, which was kind of the reason why I picked up the book in the first place. Some interesting subplots, and then just kind of morbid curiosity of wondering what's Molly gonna do next that's like something that I totally would not do in my normal social interactions with people. Like, the ending was a surprise, which I think is a mark of a somewhat successful mystery. You don't want to give your guts away too early. However, I don't think that there was enough information revealed to the audience to really be able to infer who did it until like they actually revealed who did it, just because there were some key details that weren't like let out until the very end of the book. So if you were hoping to be able to be like, I knew it the whole time, I will be surprised, because I had no clue. I mean, we got to the point, we got to the end, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I understand, which was good. But it wasn't like, oh, halfway through the book, I could have been like, yep, they did it. I can give you multiple reasons why. Because motives aren't really revealed until the very end, so you don't really know. And it's not like there's anything super gory as far as a mystery goes, but there are like some adult references, like Molly's a widow, but then she's also kind of seeing somebody, and there's like different familial problems and just issues with. And as I mentioned before, Dead Man Don't Crochet is the second in a series of books by Betty Hetchman. It's the second of 12 as of this writing, recording, whatever you want to call it. But she has also written other mysteries involving yarn and needle arts and whatnot. So if that piques your interest, go ahead and check that out. I would definitely say that the yarn puns and crochet references and other things were kind of one of the selling points for the book for me. Overall, I mean, I read it to the end, which it gives it its credit, because if I don't like a book, I won't finish it. And so I did enjoy it. I don't know that I'd necessarily read it again or keep it on my shelf for like a long-term library thing. It might be donated to the thrift store in the next year. However, I think it was worth my time for the amount of time that I actually spent on it. And it was an interesting twist on a just kind of your average mystery story.